Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this weekend edition, March 10th, March 11th, 2024. Right now, we're looking at layoffs increasing the most since 2009. We're also going to be looking at the February jobs report and the debt clock that continues to spiral out of control. 34.5 trillion and growing every single day as we continue to spiral into this slowdown of this U.S. economy that's just grinding to a halt. So please be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors that this is the channel to be for the interpretation of financial news. We don't give financial advice or planning, but we do interpret financial news and let you decide how best you and your family and friends and cohorts want to prep and prepare for this upcoming slowdown. It's going to be more of a marathon, not a sprint, a long drawn out process of reduction of services, reductions of goods, and higher taxes, higher fees, less services for our Americans all over this great country that we have here so far. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned that layoffs are continuing to rise, and that's no surprise because a lot of people are already working one job and 2 or 3 side hustles and doing other things they can to cut down on debt and cut down on spending. But layoffs, according to CNBC.com this week, layoffs rise to the highest of any February since 2009, Challenger says. So you can see that we have these high-profile layoff waves with tech leading the way. If you remember, tech laid off a couple people early in January, and some people say that they've been trimming the fat, that trimming the fat was necessary, that they do that on a routine basis in January and February anyway, but in trimming the fat, they trim more fat than necessary. Now, the good news is that number has fallen to 55% according to this article from the same period a year ago. And you notice that they're not having a whole lot of job fairs. Most of the jobs that you see that are hiring, they say now hiring in the window. There's no such thing as a job fair like they used to have at these hotels, the big hotels and stuff. Now it's more so apply online and we'll keep a database of applications. And we're seeing this in both the public sector and the private sector. We're seeing many job cancellations, postings cancellations, wondering if they're even there to begin with on a lot of these popular job sites like Indeed.com or MonsterJobs.com or et cetera, et cetera. So we have these cuts here that are cutting into the numbers here. So at one point, they're telling us, the media is telling us that we have these about every month, we're adding about an average of 200 to 270,000 jobs in this economy. But on the other hand, they're cutting 80 to 100,000 jobs a month, with the tech sector leading the way. 28,000 jobs were cut from the tech sector so far this year. We're not even through the first quarter. We have to go to the end of March to get through the first quarter of this fiscal year here. Other industries planning significant cuts include industrial goods, energy, and education. So they're going to be cutting their states' education budgets are going to be, even though they get money from the lotteries that they do, these states, but apparently they're going to be running out of money, so they're going to be cutting education budgets down. You can already see that in the news in a lot of these states like Illinois, Maryland, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas. They're cutting these education budgets down. So you can see that means laying off teachers and different things like that. So we'll have to see how it goes, but we do know that this is bringing a lot of things into play. Now, Bullard, one of the Federal Reserve Chairman, Bullard, says that February job report, quote, increases the chances of interest rates cutting. The Fed will cut interest rates sooner. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody has a crystal ball. But in my opinion, I still think that the rate cuts are coming later this year, probably later than after the election. So we're talking like December before they actually cut rates. They may leave rates unchanged in the next few meetings. But according to former St. Louis Fed President James Bullard, he says that he believes that the rate cuts are coming sooner. What do you think? I don't think the rate cuts are coming sooner. I think they're coming later because this inflation problem that we have is still going on. We still have this huge debt. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We have $34.5 trillion of national debt. This is going up. Tax base is going down for the U.S. government. And we have all of the spending that's going on, and we're not going to be able to service the interest on that debt, which is approaching $766 million. $766 billion on the interest on that. So you look at the total debt, including unfunded liabilities. You have over $100 trillion almost of unfunded liabilities, including the total debt here. That's a lot, and the savings is only $11,000 per family. It includes 401ks, money market accounts, and stuff like that. And surprisingly, student loan debt is still rising, $1.7 trillion, despite all the forgivenesses and everything that's been going on. The average student still owes $38,000. with the forgiveness, and people are still going to school too. M2 money supply is still increasing too as well, ladies and gentlemen. So we have all of this factored in. Even though it just looks like numbers and digits on the screen, even though we're moving to a cashless society, it still means that we're heading towards an insolvency type of situation here, with gold going up and silver going up minimally, moderately. Everything is in a big bubble right now, and this is what a fiat currency does. It prices everything in a big bubble, and this is what we see. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think a rate cut is coming before the elections or after the elections, or no rate cuts this year until next year, 2025? I really like to know your comments on this. Be safe, be blessed. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next episode.